Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And well, it's another episode of What I've Watched. So let's get on with it. The first one is Brighton Rock. Now, Brighton Rock is from 1948, and it's directed by John Bolting. He is part of the Bolting brothers. The other one is Roy. Now, films that John Bolton directed were The Magic Spy, 1951. Private Progress, 1956. Lucky Jim, 1957. I'm All Right, Jack, 1959, which I love. Peter Sellers is in that one. And Rotten to the Core, 1965. Now, this film is based on a novel by Graham Greene, which is from 1938. And Graham Greene, with Terence Rattigan, wrote the screenplay. So that's a great involvement from Graham Greene in this story. I think the thing that really, I have to say from the outset, sets this out as a great British film is the location. Yes, it's a post-war film set in Brighton, and we see all the locations of Brighton. It is just a real treat to see all that, I think. It really is a great record, a historical record of that. Absolutely fantastic. Loved it. Now, this, of course, stars Richard Attenborough. Richard Attenborough, this is really a breakthrough acting role for him, where he is really noticed because his performance as Pinky, this psychotic gang member who is dangerous, very dangerous, really, and he's brilliantly played. Outstanding performance. We've also got William Hartnell, who plays Dallo, who is the kind of the leader of these gangsters. And then we've got Carol Marsh, who plays Rose. She was in Scrooge, 1951, and Dracula, 1958. Brilliant Hammer, Christopher Lee, and all that. Now, Rose is a very kind of tragic character in many ways. It's a Shakespearean thing because she is absolutely madly in love with her, with him, and she thinks, he's the one for her, and he plays along with it. He's kind of, happy. He gets married to her, but it's not his real opinion. He's using her. He doesn't like her, and we see a scene where he records on one of these like discs, which is kind of a thing that they had there, and he records how much he hates her, how he dislikes her. But he starts off with saying, I love her, I love you, and all that. But then he goes into this diatribe. He gives her the disc to her, and she treasures it. She really treasures this disc. And it becomes quite a significant part of the film, really. Because the film looks at him basically in a very, well, a dark way, really. He's a dark character, and he is going to take things too far, which he does, because he's involved in the murder of this journalist, and which he is trying to cover up. The police, of course, know about him and would love to get him, and we see the police side as well. But he basically manipulates Rose into thinking that it's all going to be great, and say they get married. But this disc we see, and it's there in the film, and the ending is so tragic because she finally gets to play this disc, and he starts out saying, "I love you," and it gets stuck. It doesn't go anymore. It doesn't play anymore. But if she had the rest of it, it totally changes. But she doesn't. So her impression of him is that, it's so sad. It's so sad, really, that she's been deceived. It's tragic. But this is a great film. It gives you a great look at that particular time in post-war Britain, and how things were. Locations, as I say, are just fantastic. Really highly recommended. This is the one to watch. There has been a good remake, but this is the one. This is the one, really. Fantastic. The next one, I suppose, needs no introduction, really, but I'll have to talk about it. It's Lawrence of Arabia. Now, I know this is a DVD copy, and really I need to upgrade. I need to upgrade, because this is a fantastic looking film. It's an epic film, and it will look, I know, absolutely fantastic upgraded. But hey, I've got a DVD copy of it. It doesn't deflect from this film how wonderful it is. It's an epic film with epic performances, brilliant cinematography, brilliant soundtrack with a particular theme that stands out by Hans Zimmer. This is just ticks all the boxes, and is widely considered a great British film. But then if we explore a bit further, it's directed by David Lean, and that may explain a lot. David Lean, fantastic director. Highlights of his career, obviously, Brief Encounter, 1945. Great Expectations, 1946. Oliver Twist, 1948. Hobson's Choice, 1954. Such great British cinema. And then the film that, again, I think is internationally known, rather than just being a British cinema, is Bridge on the River Kwai, 1957. That film is absolutely outstanding, as we know. It's award-winning, absolutely brilliant. And then, again, and the really big one, I think a big one after Bridge on the River Kwai is Dr. Zhivago from 1965. Wow, absolutely. What can I say about that, Dr. Zhivago? And it's got, of course, Omar Sharif, who's in this film. Yes. And then a film that I think I really enjoyed watching is Ryan's Daughter from 1970. Again, it's an epic film, and absolutely love it. And then the end of the career, his last film, is another absolute brilliant epic film. I mean, this director is so talented. A Passage to India, 1984. That is an amazing film. It just looks fantastic. The performances from the actors, the epic setting of it all. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing film. So, what a director. And this film say stars Peter O'Toole as T. Lawrence, and I'd say I just think it's his best performance of his career. But he has done some great performances, but this, how can you top this? I don't know. And I say we've got Alec Guinness as Prince Faisal. We've got Anthony Quinn, who plays Uda Abatai, great actor. And then we've got Jack Hawkins, oh yes, another British actor that stands out, who plays General Edmund Allenby. And then I say there's Omar Sharif, who plays, now let me do this, Sharif Ali Ibn El Karish. Yes, I've managed to do that one. And then we've got Anthony Quayle, who plays Colonel Harry Brighton. And then there's Claude Rains, who makes an appearance as Mr. Dryden, as the diplomat. Wow, this film is interesting because it starts with Lawrence of Arabia, T. Lawrence, what do you call that, on his motorbike, and he has a crash, and he dies. So the film starts with his death, and in a way, it's interesting because he goes through such a lot of things that his death on a motorbike seems kind of, I don't know, sort of almost strange, but yet very much part of him, his character. His character he's from this sort of, you could say, upper class background, and he is very unconventional. He's not liked in many ways because of that. He doesn't fit in, and this is his strength ultimately, because this is set in the First World War, and the importance of Lawrence was that he was able to unite all the Arab tribes. Yes, all the Arabs were united through him. And this was important because then they could fight the Turks. The Turks were important. The Turks were making their last stand, you could say, and they joined the First World War, the Germans and all that kind of importance in terms of strategy, particularly for the British Empire at this time. And it was important that for them that they stopped the Turks, and he was able to unite all those and fight against the Turks. And Turkey, people forget that at one time, Turkey had the Ottoman Empire. It stretched far across, Europe and Africa. It was massive. The Ottoman Empire. And it was in decline, but they took part in the First World War. They joined later, but they did come in, and the British saw them as a threat to their interests as well, so that's why he's here. This film, it's just, all the things you've heard about it are true. It's just classic. It's a classic film. It's filmmaking at its best. Acting at its best. You just can't help but love this film if you like this epics and you love history like I do. I always say, and it's true again with this film, it's obviously a representation of his life, and not everything is going to be true. There are going to be inconsistencies, but it doesn't matter. It's a film, and enjoy it from that level. The next film is, again, another interesting film. This is called The Last Valley. It's from 1971. It's written and directed by James Clavell, who, directed To Sir With Love, 1967, The Sweet and Bitter, 1967, and Where's Jack, 1969. It stars Michael Caine. I don't need to go into Michael Caine's career because it's just there. There's so many great films, and he's just a great British actor. Absolutely fantastic actor. He really is. He represents everything. His whole filmography, you just look at it and just see what a varied career it is. Here he plays a mercenary set, say, in the 30 Years' War, which ran from 1618 to 1648. I'm immediately on board. It's 17th century, and I'm a big, massive nerd when it comes to 17th century history. It's my thing. It's what I've been done all through my life, 17th century history. But yeah, it's good to see a film about the 30 Years' War. So we've also got Florida Balkan, and she's a Brazilian actress. She's good, really good. I really enjoyed her. And we've got another stalwart British actor, Nigel Davenport. So the concept of this film is that Michael Caine's character is a mercenary, and he's not attached to any particular religion. And this is a period of time when in Europe religion is part of the 30 Years' War, but it is also a part where people are choosing the religions, the princes and rulers, to what they can get out of it, land and stuff like that, and dominance. So it's a very much a political thing rather than all sort of religion. But he's a man who's not religious, and he's there just for himself, really. He's getting money. He admits it. He doesn't believe in God either, which at that time is interesting that he's mentioning that, because it's quite a thing to say. You know how they were. You were forced to basically believe in God often, and if you said you weren't, you could be accused of all sorts, probably witchcraft. And it's interesting because he totally thinks it's ridiculous, but we see the burning of somebody who is accused of being a witch, and she is burned. It's brutal. It's terrible. But yet this film, they're there to protect this community, this village, who are worried about the troops that are passing through, going on into the 30 Years' War, and they're hidden kind of in this valley, and that's what they want to be protected. And it's great. We see all sorts of action as well as they're preparing how to stop all this. It's a great film. Absolutely loved it, and it was good to see that part of history being portrayed in a film. The next film is it's a western. It's called Vaquero. Now I said western there, but in many ways as well, it's a historical film as well, and it's an unusual film. Now it's directed by Gordon Douglas, who directed Saps at Sea, which is a Laurel and Hardy film. He also did, I love this title, Zombies on Broadway, 1945. He did Up Periscope, 1959. Rio Chochas, 1964. Robin and the Seven Hoods, 1964. Tony Rome, yeah, 1967. Frank Sinatra, not. They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. Oh, Sidney Poitier, 1970. Nevada Smith, 1975. And Viva Carnival, 1977. Now, this, as I say, is a western, but it's got it's got such a lot in this, and I like it. It's unusual. It's not a spaghetti western. A lot of people think, oh, Lee Van Cleef spaghetti western. Though it does, I say it's not a spaghetti western, but you see at various points, you know how spaghetti westerns have these stares and the music and the way the actors look. It has that element in it, so it's obviously trying to look at that sort of area as well. So we got Lee Van Cleef, we got Warren Oates, who's a really good actor, plays the baddie here, and Forrest Tucker, again, another stalwart of these kind of westerns, brilliant. So, what this story is about, Lee Van Cleef plays a different kind of character. He has this barge which he puts people across the river backwards and forwards, and it's his living. It's his, and he does it well, and that's it. Which is unusual, isn't it? He's not seen as a gunfighter, though he is very useful with a gun. So we get these band of mercenaries we see, particularly at the beginning of the film, and they're brutal. That we see them, then they just kill people, and they find themselves having to cross the river because they need to escape to Mexico. And there is a settlement around this area who are absolutely terrified when these people that are now going to come, these desperados, if you want to call them that, they're going to come and they most likely be killed. So what they do is they get Lee Van Cleef's character to help them, and he does. He helps them, and it all comes from that, and it is absolutely brilliant. He gets them safely across the river, and a standoff develops, of course, from this, and we get battle scenes, and that's great. And we also get the final confrontation, which I think is absolutely great. We get this wonderful final confrontation, which is what you've been waiting for. But I really enjoyed this film. I think it's a good film. It is. I really think it's good. The next one is an absolute classic. Again, it's Revenge of Frankenstein from 1958, directed by Terence Fisher. And what else? Terence Fisher is fantastic. And it is a direct sequel to The Curse of Frankenstein. It follows exactly where the Curse of Frankenstein ended, which was the Baron being led to the gallows, and the guillotine is there. And this starts with that. But of course, he escapes. He manages to escape and get out. And brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We've also got Francis Matthews in this, who is really good. I really enjoy Francis Matthews, known really, I think, for the voices of the Jerry Anderson stuff. But also, if you remember, he was in the 1966 Dracula Prince of Darkness as well. Really good. I thought it was another good performance. And we've got Eunice Gayson, who is also an actress who was in Dr. No, 1963. 1962. 1962, Dr. No. 1963, she was in From Russia with Love. So she's a Bond girl. But this film. It's also got Michael Ripper and Lionel Jeffries. Yes, Michael Ripper appears in all these wonderful Hammer films, but it's good to see Lionel Jeffries as well. They have a scene where they're like drunks, and this is absolutely wonderful. And it's filmed as usual at Bray Studios, where Hammer were really knocking out the films. Absolutely brilliant. I love it that Peter Cushing plays a character called Dr. Stein. He's been driven out, so he's gone somewhere else where he will start up what he's known for best. Now, it's interesting. The other interesting thing is this, is we always say about the Frankenstein's monster, that we think of the Karloff monster. But this version is not. It's just an ordinary man who doesn't look deformed or anything, and that's the idea. His assistant. The twist in this, we have Igor, of course, in the old things, but his assistant in this has a twisted body, and he's promised him that he'll put his brain into a nice body that isn't like that. And this is what happens. That's what he does. But unfortunately, as so many things, it does go wrong. And he becomes kind of deformed again. And the monster part comes out. So we get that. This is such a clever film. I absolutely think it's outstanding. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And the great thing about all these Frankenstein films is there's always a different take on things. And this is another great take. Highly recommended. Brilliant. The next film is, again, a film was a first-time watch for me. And the Frankenstein wasn't. The Frankensteins, I was brought up with them. But this one is a first-time watch. It's Free State of Jones from 2016. It's directed and written by Gary Ross, who directed Pleasantville, 1996, Seabiscuit, 2003, The Hunger Games, 2012, Ocean's 8, 2018, and Desert Warrior, 2025. Now, this stars Matthew McConaughey, who is, well, I think it's great performance here. Some of his films: Contact, 1997, Amistad, 1997, U571, 2000, The Wedding Planner, 2001, Killer Joe, 2011, The Wolf of Wall Street, oh yes, 2013, brilliant, Interstellar, wow, that is a film. Interstellar is a film that is just out there and is superb. One of the best films of the 21st century. Yes. And then The Lost Bus, 2025. These are just some of the brilliant films he was in. Then we have got Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who plays Rachel. She was in Jupiter Ascending, 2015, Beauty and the Beast, 2017, Cloverfield Paradox, 2018, Misbehavior, 2020, Lift, 2024, and The Woman in the Cabin 10, 2025. So this film is based on the life of Newton Knight. Now, this is a character I've not really heard of, and I should have done. Um, it is basically set in the Civil War in the southern states, um, and it's in Jones, um, and he starts off in the Confederate army, but like a lot of the Confederate army, when things developed as it went on, they deserted. A lot of people. That was a major problem. Probably why, in fact, they couldn't sustain the war ultimately and led to their defeat. And he becomes part of a group of Confederates who desert and band together and survive in this sort of marshland areas. And they kind of become fighting for the Union. Yes, so we get them actually involved with the Union. And this is a really interesting piece of history. The other important part is that he is involved with a relationship with a black woman called Rachel. And again, this is so against the grain. This is the kind of character he was. And he falls in love with her. They marry. They have children. They have 5 children, actually. And the great thing in the documentary we get on here, we get all these descendants of these 5 children. Yes. And what is absolutely fantastic, which again epitomizes this man, they're white, they're mixed race, and they're black. All descendants. Fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I love this idea, and what a character, and what a great performance as well in this. It's a film I say I've not seen before, and I thought it was fantastic. Highly recommended that one. And then lastly, I'm aware that I am going on quite a bit. I'll try not to go on too long. But the film is Man at the Top from 1973, directed by Mike Vardy. Now, he's interesting films he directed. St. Joe, 1975, Cleopatra. Sorry, I've made a right mistake there. We'll start again. I'm sorry about this. Right, there is those films I was listing are not directed by Mike Vardy. In fact, he sort of disappears. He doesn't really do anything after that. What it is the lead actor, Kenneth Haig, who plays Joe Lampton. He is in these films. St. Joe, 1975, Cleopatra, 1963, Robin and Marion, which is a great film, 1976, The Bitch, yes, I love that one, Joan Collins, Night Train to Murder, 1983, Wild Geese 2, who doesn't love a bit of Wild Geese, 1985, and Shuttlecock, 1991. That's Kenneth Haig. Then we've got another familiar face, which is Nanette Newman. She was in The League of Gentlemen, 1960. She was in Pit of Darkness, 1961. The L-Shaped Room, 1962. A film that I love, Seance on a Wet Afternoon, 1964. With, of course, the wonderful Richard Attenborough. I had to get him in again. Captain Nemo and the Underwater City. She's in that, 1968. And I think perhaps most famously, she is in The Stepford Wives from 1975. And then we've got Harry Andrews. Again, a very recognisable British actor. He was in Ice Cold in Alex, 1958. He often plays these military types as well. 633 Squadron, 1964, The Hill, 1965, Charge of the Light Brigade, you can see the pattern there, 1968, Battle of Britain, 1969. A different film was Entertaining Mr. Sloane, 1970, with Joe Orton. He was in, of course, Nicholas and Alexandra, brilliant, 1971. And who can forget him, not forget him, in Theatre of Blood. Oh, brilliant Vincent Price film. He was in Equus. Equus, what a film Equus is. Richard Burton in that one. Medusa Touch, Richard Burton, 1978. And of course, he was in Superman. Yeah, 1978. Harry Andrews, what a brilliant. Now, this film also has, I have to mention him, is a Yorkshire lad, Charlie Williams. Charlie Williams is in Bayek. He's in it. You can't beat a bit of Charlie Williams. Right. So, this is a spin-off from an ITV series, Man at the Top, which ran from 1970 to 1972. The story is that this Joe Lampton, who's from a very working class background, has made it. He's at the top now. He's up there. He's promoted to director of a pharmaceutical company. And the chairman who does this is Lord Ackerman, played by Harry Andrews, who, to put it mildly, is a bit of a dodgy character, but that's how he's got there. But he's from this background, the sort of upper class background, and he's a powerful man. Now, he discovers that Joe Lampton, that his predecessor committed suicide because of the involvement in a drug that left 1,000 African women sterile. And wow, he is learning so much that he develops kind of a conscience about all this. But in the end, that conscience is perhaps put aside for the wealth and power he has gained. And we see that. He's the working class lad made good. And we see that is brilliantly portrayed by him. And he accepts that in the end. So something's worth more than the conscience as he sees it. It's the power and the wealth that he has gained. And he's not going to let go of that. Very good film. Brilliant. And that's it. I better go now. Yeah. So if you've liked this video, please give this video a like. It's good for my channel. It gets it out there, and hopefully other people might enjoy it. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down, and I'll always reply to them. I love to read them. And if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe? If you subscribe, then we'll let you know when I put out these videos. And I'll always look in the playlist and you can see everything I've done. And that's it. Yes. So all I've got to say is, I'll see you again.